point out is you have this whole secessionist movement that they're trying to gin up in California right now. And
give me a second. I'm going to go grab myself a cup of coffee. You keep on going with what you're talking about there.
Yeah.
All right. We are recording now, for the record.
Okay. But so what you end up having with this whole quote-unquote secessionist movement is it's 2.0 of the same fucking playbook that they used back in the 1850s and 1860s. It's literally the same fucking playbook. It's all based on economics. Because where are some of the largest developed ports in the United States?
I'd assume California?
The West Coast. Right. Because it's not just California that they're trying to drum up, it's Oregon and Washington as well. Basically everything from Vancouver all the way down to fucking San Diego. But here's the thing. The trucking industry is a part of that. Well, if all of a sudden California is going to secede, all of a sudden they can't have quote-unquote United States truckers shipping shit. They have to have their own truckers. Well, how do they compensate? They just start issuing fucking CDLs like they're candy without training people. And I bet you dollars to fucking donuts that we find out that this motherfucker that killed those 3 people in fucking Florida turns out that he barely had any fucking training at all, and that's why he tried to fucking pull that stupid fucking turn he did. And the fact that he came from the middle lane and tried to make that fucking turn, like, okay, you know what? If he had been in the left lane trying to make that fucking turn and they slammed into the rear of him, it's like, okay, I wouldn't be nearly as angry about it. But the fact that he was in the middle lane, cutting the left lane off like he did, it's like, and mind you, I've seen accidents like that. I know what the bodies look like afterwards. It's not fucking pretty.
Yeah.
So, you know, at the end of the fucking day, like, you know, this is an amazing situation for Trump, because now, as Stoner pointed out earlier while we were talking, you know, Gavin Newsom's holding this whole anti-ICE speech, and then all of a sudden ICE shows up and just starts fucking arresting people. Well, guess what? Now the feds, they are able to, they have the excuse to go carte blanche on California.
Also, so for people who are maybe listening later, can you elaborate just what exactly what happened that we're talking about it specifically?
Yeah, so the incident that we're referring to, where there was an incident, there was a vehicle accident that resulted in the death of 3 people. This took place in Florida, where a California CDL certified driver is cutting. It's a 3-lane highway by the looks of the video. Might be 4 lanes. I couldn't really tell if there was a 4th lane, but it was at least 3 lane. The California truck driver was attempting to do an illegal. So here in the U.S. we have these turnarounds that are used for emergency services only. You're not supposed to use them. Period in the story. They're not for regular people to use. That's, you know, we have the exit and entrance ramps for our use. The turnarounds are specifically for emergency services. Well, he was attempting to U-turn using one of these emergency turnarounds. Well, the problem was he was in the middle lane of the highway on a 3-lane highway. As he was turning, he was cutting off the left lane of traffic, and unfortunately, due to relative speeds, given Florida, the speed limit was probably around 80 to 85 miles an hour on the highway. As he was making his turn, it looked like a family minivan slams into the underside of the trailer, killing all three occupants of the vehicle. Yeah. Unfortunately, given the fact it's a minivan, it was most likely a family.
Unfortunately. And for the record, this driver from California, illegal alien.
There's something else, too, that we're also forgetting. What happened to his partner? Because that driver had somebody that was in the truck with him. Was it like a team driver or just what?
Well, Yeah. So yes, usually they run in teams. Long haul drivers like that. You're driving from California to Florida. Generally speaking, it's going to be teams. So they can keep because you're only allowed to drive for 10 hours at a time. Actually, no, it's 11 hours. Now I think about it. You're only allowed to drive 11 hours at a time. And so in order to prevent as much downtime on those long haul routes, they tend to operate in teams. Now, given the fact that the other guy, we haven't heard anything about him yet, given the fact that he is not going to have any criminal charges put against him because he was not the one driving at the time. The guy in the turban was the one driving. And thus, there's not going to be any criminal charges against him. But given the fact that, okay, the Sikh guy is an illegal, what's the chances the other guy was an illegal too?
Probably pretty high.
Yeah.
More than likely pretty high. So more than likely we'll find out later that ICE, arrested him and deported him, but, we'll find that out much later versus the other guy who is now being charged with, I believe he was charged with vehicular manslaughter. I might be wrong on that.
Yeah. If you want to give a little bit of background, the problem with the shortage of certified drivers, ones that actually got a real commercial driver's license and not one out of a California Cracker Jack box. That's been going on for well over a decade now.
Well, yes.
Yeah. The last couple of years I was at Freightliner, we're talking around the 2016, 2017 time frame. There was actually one rather sizable trucking company that had bought quite a few trucks from, Daimler Trucks North America, which the parent company for Freightliner. They were caught by the feds in that half of their drivers did not have a CDL. We're talking one of the large legitimate trucking companies, and they got caught with half of their drivers not being certified.
Well, I'm also going to point this out, and this is something that I've started coming about to within the past couple of years, and as I'm getting ready to change careers from security to truck driving, I've learned more about this in the past few months as well. One of the key things is that a lot of these companies don't have their own schools. And so there's a huge shortage because you're creating the dynamic where people, why am I, I'll use myself for an example. Why am I switching from security work to truck driving? Well, it's because the time and money investment to get my 124 license here in, or 124 certification here in Ohio, which is it's the OPATA certification, which allows me to gain my commission as a peace officer and or work in higher level private security positions. The time and money investment is too high. Now, the time investment is actually shorter than what it's going to take for me to get my CDL, because my CDL school is going to take 8 weeks. My 124 is only going to take me 6 weeks to do. But the problem is that the $2,500 that I'm going to have to spend for my 124 class is just not feasible for me right now. So as a result, I actually went looking specifically for a company, and well, I wasn't really looking. I just kind of happened upon it, to be honest. That's actually what caused me to make this decision. It's a school company called Mast Trucking here in Ohio, where they will pay for your school, and then you have. I've been told that some people think they're a 1-year commitment. I've been told by other people they're a 2-year commitment. I'm not 100% sure on that. But the simple fact is that, the time investment is nothing to me, honestly speaking. The money investment is the problem at the current time. And so spending $2,500 to get my 124 versus getting $4,000 worth of free training from Mast is going to be a huge fucking step up for me. and I'm also going to be making $10,000 to $15,000 more a year by switching careers. Which then, once I get my tanker, my flatbed, and my hazard endorsements, the sky's the fucking limit, to be honest. So it just makes more sense. But because you have this lack, and I apologize if you guys heard that. Holy shit, that was loud as fuck. But the fact that more of these companies don't have their own schools where they actually train their people, and they're relying purely on the pre-existing pool of manpower within the CDL market, it's like, what are you gonna fucking get? Like, what are you doing? Like, if you don't have a school as a company at this point in time, you're failing as a company, in my opinion. Now, it's just my opinion, but the metrics seem to be measuring out, especially if you're going to have a company, a well-established company, being caught with 50% of their workforce not being certified.
Yeah, and Swift Trucking being the industry poster boy for poorly trained drivers.
Well, and yet Swift is a training school. Like,
yep.
They do pay their guys to come in and get training. Yeah, sometimes the training is subpar, but at the same time, at least that's, in the case of Swift, that's why they don't have a lack of drivers, because they can just make new ones because they bring people in off the street.
Yeah, and to be honest, part of the thing about, Swift having poor drivers, a lot of that, I think, is just, like you said, kind of like part urban myth, and, just basically that's just become, kind of like, the internet meme as far as like for poorly trained truck drivers. Yeah.
Well, and the thing, and we had this discussion previously, the problem with Swift is that all their guys are new, basically, because they have a 1-year commitment. So guys get in, they do their 1 year, and then they go to another company. Whereas all the guys that are driving for Swift, they're still within that 1 year confinement. So it's a simple case of, oh, okay, so you're literally the new guy. There's very few Swift drivers that I've run into personally, because I'm not being a dick when I ask them this, but I ask them, like, hey, how long have you been driving? Because I've had problems with Swift drivers backing into my docks before here at work. And so I ask them, like, hey, are you going to need assistance parking your truck? And generally speaking, they're like, yeah, no, I'm good. And yeah, sometimes it'll take them about 10 minutes to line it up properly and whatnot, but they usually get it. It's actually really funny because there was a guy that came in from another company. I'm not going to say what company it is, just from the perspective I don't know anything about them particularly. And it's the one guy so far that we've had problems with from this company, so I don't want to put him on blast. Because we've had other drivers from the company come in here and they've been perfectly fucking fine. They've been great. But we had one guy who managed to run over a stop sign, managed to hit a crash barrier, and almost hit one of our trucks. And the guy admitted to one of our maintenance guys who was like outside checking on the damage that he had done up to that point. He admitted to one of the maintenance guys that he had never been taught how to back up.
Huh. That seems kind of like an important thing to teach a truck driver, don't you think?
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. What is the one thing a toilet can do but a Swift driver can't do?
What?
Back up.
Back up.
Nice.
Yeah. So it sounds like basically Swift's problem is not all of their own making. It's basically that the rest of the industry is basically using Swift since they're willing to pay for the training. The rest of the industry is using Swift as the boot camp for qualifying new drivers and then nabbing the drivers away from them.
Yes, that's absolutely what's going on. Like for example, I was talking to a guy who happened to actually work for Mast, which is the company I'm going to. He worked for Mast for about 3 years back in the day, and what he said is the reason why Mast tends to be better than Swift is because Mast, after a certain point, they'll offer their guys, if they want to keep the driver around, they'll offer them a full blown position within the company. And so that's why they usually retain some of their best drivers, is because they'll be like, okay, this guy is really fucking good, we need to keep him. And so they'll throw a shit ton of money towards the guy to make sure he stays. Swift, unfortunately, due to how much they're doing all at once, they can't really do that because Swift is just fucking all over the place. And so they can't do, Mast is a slightly smaller company than Swift. It's not like too much smaller, but it's smaller. It's just a different dynamic. But yeah, effectively, Swift is kind of the industry boot camp. But the problem is that these other companies that aren't utilizing that resource or can't utilize that resource, say Swift doesn't operate in their jurisdiction as much. They end up falling into these, practices of, we're just going to use uncertified drivers to do our shit. And it's like, excuse me, or they're going to hire shitty fucking people that are going to make stupid fucking choices that end up killing people. So it's just a really unfortunate situation that occurred. And luckily, Florida's fully prosecuting the guy. He's getting deported. Again, we'll find out about his buddy at some point in time if he's an illegal. If he's not an illegal, and it turns out that he was the instructor or the senior driver in the car in the cab, I would love to see him charged as an accessory, to be honest.
Also, it turns out, I looked it up, he's not being charged with vehicular manslaughter, he's being charged with vehicular homicide.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right. So they're okay. So that's slightly different. Vehicular manslaughter is more based in negligence than anything. Vehicular homicide is full blown you were retarded and you knew you were being retarded, you knew what you were doing was wrong, and you got people killed. Okay, so he is fucked 9 ways to Sunday.
Yeah.
I would love, honestly speaking, if we could put him in CCOT. But that's just me.
Put him under CCOT.
Yeah.
No. He's a delicate little Sikh. The inmates might have some fun with him, and that's what he deserves at this point in time.
I see what you're saying. Prolong the suffering.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
In other words, like the guy that threw the sandwich at the officer up in D.C., he's going to get multiple $5 footlongs.
Oh. He's gonna get a buy one get one for a long time.
Yeah, buy one get 100 free.
But no, the simple fact is that it's a fucking tragedy, and I hope, again, as I was telling Stoner earlier, this should carry up to the Supreme Court. Basically, it'll be the district courts that handle this lawsuit, but the lawsuit from the family against the company's fucked. The company is fucked 9 ways to Sunday. And then, of course, the Supreme Court is going to be asked to leverage sanction against California by Florida, because California is the one that gave this guy his CDL, and it's like, he wasn't supposed to have a fucking CDL to begin with, you fucking dumb schleps. So hopefully we'll see some shit. Now, that kind of goes into the topic of the whole California secessionist movement, because this is, as I said earlier, this is going to give carte blanche to the feds to handle California and the West Coast as a whole very harshly. Like, they are beyond fucked at this point. Frankly speaking, if Gavin Newsom is still the governor at the end of this year and he's not forced to resign in shame, I'll be fucking surprised, to be honest.
That would require him to be able to feel shame. It's obvious Gavin Newsom cannot.
No. Here's the point. Is at this juncture, it's going to be either he gets slapped with a bunch of fucking shit from Florida, and he decides to, okay, I'm fucking done politically, or he decides.
No, that won't happen.
You know, well, there's possibility. It could go either of two ways. Either he's like, I'm done politically, and I need to get the fuck out in front of this bullshit, or he's gonna double down and then proceed to go full secessionist, and then at that point in time, it's like, fucking thank you for making it easy for us.
Yeah, like, considering who his aunt is, yeah, I wouldn't, call his political career dead, anytime soon.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
I'm pretty sure he still thinks he's gonna win the 2028 presidential election.
Oh, it's actually really funny, because I was talking to a guy who was like, he's concerned about Gavin Newsom, and I explained it to him very simply.
Newsom doesn't bother me at all. He's not a problem. It's the other ones.
Well, that's the thing is, and I explained it to this one guy very, very succinctly. If you think Gavin Newsom has a shot in fucking hell, then you don't realize how much they're fucking panicking about fucking the potential for the U.S. and Russia to normalize relations. Like, you're not paying attention to the wider picture if you think Gavin Newsom's a threat at all. And that's just what it comes down to. I was listening to a podcast earlier. So it was Crypto Rich, Tom Luongo, and this other woman, Susan something. I can't remember her last name. And mind you, this Susan chick, like, older, like late 50s, early 60s lady. I was totally ready for her to be on like a very boomer level. And then she started speaking, and I was like, oh shit. Yeah, she's Gen X. Fuck. All right, cool. We can roll with this. And they were just laying into like all the shit that is going on and what we're preparing to see, and the potentials for a lot of the shit that's going on. And one of the things that Tom brings up, it's like it's all down to to economics once again. They're going to try to steal away the West Coast ports. They're going to try to steal away the Northeast ports, the New England area. They're going to try to steal away, Minneapolis, which is the main river port on the Mississippi. They're going to try to steal away New Orleans, which is the entrance to the Mississippi, et cetera, et cetera. They're going to try to steal all this stuff away because that's how they think. The Europeans think from or the particular Europeans that we're talking about think about things from a naval point of view, and it's like, okay, cool. Oh, by the way, we're fucking invading all these places and we're putting them the fuck down. Oh, by the way, Canada, yeah, round 2, bitch, let's go. Vancouver's ours now. Oh, fucking Quebec, Ottawa, yeah, no, those are internment camps now. So it just letting you know, Bard, you need to get out of Montreal.
Fair enough.
But that's the point, though. Is like, no, it's like, yeah, if you want to press this button, let's press that button. You're not gonna like the result at all. Now, one of the other things is this is going to lead to the collapse of the Mexicans as well, because who's going to do the fighting in California? It's not going to be the fucking California National Guard. It's not going to be, Antifa might, rise up, but it's going to be the fucking Chicanos. It's going to be the Mexicans within the United States, and it's going to be the cartels, which, oh, by the way, then we just start bombing the shit out of fucking Mexico. It's like, okay, cool. Like, good luck, have fun. Hope you brought your brown trousers.
Speaking of which, did you hear about how it's been in the news that Trump had told the Pentagon to begin drawing up plans for bombing Mexico?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, bless her heart.
Oh, that was a very, very distinct warning to Mexico. Like, yeah. We will take Mexico. We will engage in some Teddy Roosevelt behavior, and you're not going to like it. And
that tends to happen when you start having Mexican gangs start to invade border towns because they're not making enough money bringing people across the border, so they're doing home invasions.
Well, yeah. But the point is that Scheinbaum shit bricks over that, by the way, because when that news started coming around, she immediately came out trying to posture, but then immediately had to run to the EU to try to get some backing on this. And the EU's like, what the fuck do you want us to do? We don't have an expeditious capability. We rely on the US for that.
And at that, Scheinbaum and the quote-unquote Mexican government is not in charge of the country. The cartels are. Mexico is basically a failed state at this point.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Which then you're also hearing rumors that the Marina, or the Marines of Mexico, have basically turned on the government to a degree. They're not operating within the confines of the government orders. They're operating freely and going after the cartels as they see fit. Because Scheinbaum attempted to put a leash on the Marina, and the Marina said, nah, we good. So at this point in time, you have the condition where you could potentially have an uprising of the most heavily armed and most well-trained element of the Mexican armed forces ready to strike internally in Mexico if the U.S. decides to fucking send it. So, at this point in time, I don't know what fucking cards these people think they have. It's like, oh yeah, you stop logistics for, 6 weeks, maybe 12 at most. Congratulations. We're gonna fuck you up so hard it's unfucking real. Oh, by the way, if a house if we receive fire from a fucking house, we're deleting that house.
Yeah.
Yeah. If what you say about the Marina is true, I could see to where if the U.S. did make a move like that, the Marina might just say, "Hey guys, welcome to the party. The more, the merrier."
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, and that's the thing is that there's been some very distinct issues between the federal government of Mexico and the Marina over the past decade. There's been some back and forth that is distinct. It's very clear because the Marina, to their credit, they believe in what Mexico could be. They believe in the dream of Mexico. And so at the end of the day, there's a reason why they handle all their own recruiting. The officer cadre for the Marina is not selected by the government. It's selected by the Marina itself. The recruitment is very stringent. If they detect that you have any involvement or any relation to some of the criminal elements, they will immediately get rid of you. They are down-to-earth Mexicans. And it's okay, those guys, they're the ones that should be running the fucking country. Now, yes, a lot of people might balk at that. They might be like, oh my God, a military dictatorship. And it's no. a military fucking dictatorship that holds power long enough to handle the fucking problems, and then they turn it over to a new civilian government that's not corrupt as fuck. Because as it currently stands, Mexico has no shot in hell.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, at this point, a military dictatorship for however long would actually be an improvement in Mexico.
Yep.
Yeah, more than likely, to be honest, with how bad it's getting. All right, real quick. Let's pause there for a second. I need to go do the trucks real quick. But yeah, no, I just the whole situation with all of this, like it's the final gasp of the British Empire in an attempt to fucking do something before they just die. Hell,
yeah. Speaking of the British Empire, what Ofcom tried with 4chan. Oh dear God.
Dude, the fact that 4chan's lawyers are just like, go fuck yourself. That's great.
Yeah. I mean, completely discounting any action the U.S. government would take, those fools do not realize the utter hell they just unleashed by trying to go against 4chan. God help them.
Oh, dude, there's going to be so many people getting doxxed, so many people getting fucking memed to hell and back. The AI videos are going to be insane. Like, it's just going to be balls to the walls, just trolling the shit out of the British government. It's going to be fucking amazing. Also, have you guys seen the fucking shit shows that are going down in the UK right now?
In what specific way? There are many types of shit shows happening there.
Oh, the borderline fucking, riots that are starting up every single fucking afternoon.
Yeah.
What Antifa thinks? Let me rephrase that. What the mindless drones in Antifa think they are doing, the Brits are doing. And they're doing it really, really well. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
No, it does.
Because they are just so fed up with their government.
Rightfully so. Hell, even some of the videos of those videos you see of the police, going to people's houses for like memes. Even the police are apologizing for this now.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, it's gotten to the point where, like, I saw a video of 2 cops that got dispatched to a guy's house, and they literally straight up said, "Hey, we're just here." Like there was no like faces involved or anything. The dude was recording, and they're like, "Hey, look, don't record us. We're not gonna don't record our faces. We're not gonna do shit."
Right.
We're here to check off the box on the paperwork, and then we're gonna just.
Yeah. Give me a second. My girlfriend just tried to call me. I'll be right back.
No worries. But yeah, when it's gotten to the point where the British police are apologetic about the shit they do, I mean, your government is fucked.
Yeah. It's interesting when you look where it's happening and what the different reactions are, especially with the police. I mean, their cities are as bad as some of our major cities are. Theirs are actually worse.
Way worse.
Yeah. And some of their, what we would call towns, for them it'd be villages, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Are just horrifying. It's honestly, it leaves me somewhat stunned on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm kind of dancing for words over here. But Oh. I saw a reputable number, a reputable number for it a couple days ago, and I wrote it down and I lost the paper. But last year, I'll try and find it and post it for you guys.
All right.
It was something like a little over 300 people were arrested in Russia for speaking against the government, where it was over 4,000 in Britain.
Yeah. I remember
And I'll try
seeing
to
that.
find where I put that.
It's wild.
All right, I absolutely adore my girlfriend, but at the same time, oh my fucking god. No, she fucking calls me, and she's like, so instead of buying the really expensive bag that you showed me, you know, let's get something cheaper, blah, 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 so on and so forth. I'm like, okay, well, find some options and we'll look at them. She's like, well, you're going to be using it too, so I just wanted to, I'm like, hon, it is for carrying shit for the baby. I do not care. It could be fucking bright pink or bright yellow. I don't give a shit. And she's like, I'm going to find the earliest thing ever. And I'm like, that's fine. I'm a girl dad. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm having a daughter. Oh, boo-hoo. It's a fucking Hello Kitty, fucking My Little Pony fucking diaper bag. I'm not going to care.
I can already taste the estrogen in there.
It's like, Jesus Christ. Actually, it's really fucking funny you mentioned that. So, now that I'm rolling it through my fucking head, so last night, I got home, or I went to the store, got home, I wasn't fucking tired, which was a really big fucking problem. I had to be back at work at 6 a.m. this morning, and I was like, fuck. Well, shit, I'm not fucking tired. I'm gonna get the fucking meal prep done that I need to do for you. So I fucking take one of the monsters that I bought at the store, fucking cracked that bitch, and I slammed it within like fucking 10 minutes, and I'm like, let's go. And then afterwards, I took my supplements, you know, for the first time in like fucking shit, it's probably been like 6 months. I just fucking took a supplement. And I feel fucking great today. And I'm like, fuck.
That's why.
I'm like, shit. Okay, maybe I should probably be taking those again.
That number 3 finally caught up to you. You need to take better care of yourself.
Number 3, what?
Double digits. Starts with a 3, right?
Oh.
That number 3 finally caught up to you.
Hey, Warhound. Sorry, I was a little preoccupied with something a few minutes ago. But what was this you were saying about Scheinbaum trying to appeal to the Eurofacts for them to intervene on her behalf against us?
Oh yeah, no. Basically, Mexico, the Mexican federal government, as a way to juxtapose against us, they were trying to get the Europeans to fucking basically, you know, be like, now, problem. Guess what happened? The Europeans signed the fucking trade deal because they didn't have any fucking cards to play. And so now Scheinbaum is on a fucking island by herself, and she's like, fuck, what do I do?
She tried to go to the Europeans to get back up against Trump.
Yep.
Have the West forgotten what happens whenever they piss us off? Don't they remember what General Pershing did to them before World War I broke out?
Let's forget what happened to the country way back in the day when the French was running Mexico.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to turn to them for help. Yeah. Yeah, that's about the definition of stupid.
Oh well, don't leave it. You leave a beaner to their own devices, they'll tend to make retarded decisions. I do want to reference the fact that, you know, I've dealt with many a Mexican the past few months, and I've only found one that I can actually stand at this point in time.
Ugh, it reminds me of my old job.
What in the world makes these fucking so goddamn insufferable? Why the hell do they think that they're entitled to all the shit we have?
Okay, you dumb slut. Remember, wet is for fucking Cubans, you fucking moron.
You beat me to it. They're the good ones.
Generally, yeah.
Man, we giving Dale some work to do.
I have yet to meet a Cuban I don't like, mind you.
Pretty much.
Actually, funny enough, Cubans are a lot like Italians. Funny enough.
Yeah, actually, it's a good good comparison. Family oriented.
And now
the hell out of my life.
And now the Cubans I ain't got no problem with. It's the damn motherfuckers from Mexico and further south that think they're entitled to all our goodies that get under my skin.
Well, no. See, here's the fucked up part about it. Is so the Beaners, they think that they're big and bad, and it's like, motherfuckers, we already bopped your asses back in the 1840s. Do you really want to find out what a round two looks like?
Yeah. Maybe you can take the rest of Baja California from them.
Yeah, how's that go?
Technically, technically wouldn't that be round 3 because wasn't the punitive expedition round 2?
No. That was just a punitive action. That's not a claiming territory war.
Well, maybe we need another punitive action.
Well, that's what we're prepping to do. But no, honestly speaking, I would not be opposed to adding Baja County to California and declaring the new California Republic after removing Gavin Newsom. I would not be opposed to it.
Yeah.
Well, considering with
Yeah,
all the
I was wondering.
Country, they'd probably end up with the same number of seats in the House.
Probably.
Yeah, I was wondering, given how Gavin's been acting and shit, do the cartels have him by the balls?
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised, but also, I think Gavin's relying on the cartels as his muscle.
And something else in regards to California. Ever since they started all these ICE raids and shit, it seems like California's turned into a ghost town. And I'm starting to wonder, how inflated was their population to begin with illegals?
Literally in the millions, from what I understand.
Oh yeah,
dude. The redistricting, the reason why they're so scared of the redistricting is because, and this is what they're not saying when it comes to the redistricting war that they're declaring, is under the new census, which we're getting ready to do a new census.
Illegals don't count. Yeah.
They're due to lose anywhere between 5 to 9 seats.
Yep.
That's just California alone. They say nationwide, the Dems could lose upwards of 35 to 40 seats in the House. Can you say you're a permanent minority party now?
For about 50 years.
Yeah.
That's usually about how long it lasts.
Well, that's the thing, is that if we have the situation play out the way I think it's going to play out, honestly speaking, I don't think they'll have access to the presidency for the rest of the century, especially if Donald Trump sets up the ball for the 2028 Congress to repeal the Federal Reserve Act. If that happens, Democrats will never have a fucking presidency again.
He is pissed with them. I don't know if he has enough, if there's enough traction to do it, but I think if there is enough, he would go.
Well, that's why it's setting up the ball for 2028, because they have to get the. So here's what's going on. The census, the revision of the census has to happen before 2028. Because
Oh, God, yes.
2026, we're going to retain both the Senate and the House. There is a chance of a couple seats shifting around, but at this point in time, we're going to retain the House and Senate.
I hope so.
And
Pretty
then, we are going to end up having the presidency, the House, and the Senate under the new districting, which that new districting takes into account the fact that there's a lot of misrepresentation of populations across the entire country. See, here's the thing. They're bitching, you notice how they're not bitching about Ohio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they can't bitch about Ohio because Ohio is one of the most misrepresented states in the entire fucking union. We were never a swing state. It was because of Democrats' attempts to gerrymander the fuck out of the state previously. We're just fixing what they fucking broke.
Yeah. Add
And
North
now-
Carolina to that list as well.
Well, yeah, definitely. But here's the point, is that, all of a sudden, all of their representation is limited to their little islands in Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati. Oh, by the way, they've lost to Dayton because the older Gen X crowd that moved into Dayton hardcore over the past few years has flipped the city. And Toledo is the only city in Ohio that goes back and forth between Democrat and Republican. Oh, by the way, they've been fucking with the numbers in regards to Toledo because people from Michigan were voting in Ohio elections because they would have an address in fucking Toledo.
Uh-huh. Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Say that again, please, because stupid doesn't stick the first time.
A lot of people near the Michigan-Ohio border have homes on both sides. So they'll vote in both states.
Yep.
Can you vote
I have a
in both
relative
states?
that's done it for decades.
Is
Yeah,
such a thing legal to do, or are they doing it illegally?
Oh, it's insanely illegal.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do it, but they still do it. There's whole they've talked about trying to there's Antifa and the other groups up in Michigan have attempted to try to flip voters that vote on both sides on purpose. They've been playing into that shit for years.
I wonder how many California and West Coast leftists have been doing that in other red states.
Honestly speaking, see, here's the problem and this is the thing that I really need to express upon you guys, the whole myth that people fleeing California were turning other states blue is a lie.
Yeah.
Because look at this previous election. After the voter rolls were cleaned up, the whole blue wave that they were talking about didn't happen.
Yeah.
In fact, the Republicans gained voters in every jurisdiction.
Yeah, most of the people who flee
unless they
these
kept
awful states are not partisan hack Democrats. They're people who are They're mostly the Republicans in those states that have had enough.
They're not just the Republicans; they're the independent voters that are fleeing.
It's not really the Republicans; it's the independents that are leaving.
Well, I can say this for a fact because I know a couple of them. This is why I've told people for about 2 years now, don't sleep on these people fleeing from fucking California, because they are going to decide several states for us. And I've talked to a couple of them because I know them, and they live, like, one of them lives right here in Cleveland, Another one lives down by where I live, and then another one lives a little outside where I live. And I've talked to all three of them, and all three of them have straight up said, like, yeah, I needed to get away from the fucking insane tax rates. Like, Ohio is fucking brilliant. And then, oh, by the way, Ohio's talking, you know, we're getting rid of fucking of property taxes. We're reducing income taxes. So more people are wanting to move to this state to get away from all the other bullshit in other states. Oh, by the way, everybody's freaking out in Ohio right now. Or, okay, let me rephrase. The pundits are freaking out in Ohio right now because a bunch of when Intel Ohio 1 opens up, it's going to cause a bunch of these Silicon Valley types to show up. It's like, yeah, and guess what? They're going to be locked in to that fucking zone in fucking Columbus where they're represented. And yeah, sure, they can fucking vote there. It's not going to change the map in Ohio. Ohio is not a blue state. It's not a swing state. It's a red state through and fucking through. And as long as the Republicans keep delivering on economic fucking promises, it's all good. It's good. All right, I'm almost finished up. I apologize.
No worries.
Ohio has the Republican curse. Republicans. The only people that can swing defeat out of the jaws of victory every single time.
Yep.
Otherwise known as rhinos. Yeah.
Say that again?
Otherwise colloquially known as rhinos.
Yes.
Well,
actually,
to the
rhino. See, the term rhino pisses me off too, because here's the thing: is we shouldn't be referring to rhinos. We should be referring to evangelicals.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: is the evangelical crowd is the problem. Like I've done some pretty exhaustive looking into the evangelical movement, the Schofield Bible, and a few other things like that. Let me put it to you this way. If I juxtaposed the Schofield Bible and most of the shit that the fucking English socialists have put out throughout the years, there's quite a few, things.
Things in common. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like Schofield was an English socialist plant in the U.S.
Oh, the United Kingdom interfering in other countries, perish the thought.
Mm-hmm.
And that was sarcasm, in case anyone was wondering.
The only country to do it more than us.
Well,
yeah.
there's also... Okay,
real
you
quick,
finished.
Just to reply to William, because it's funny people say that, because honestly speaking, the U.S. doesn't involve itself in a lot of countries without the Europeans say so. You notice that every country that we're heavily involved in, every single one of them is a particular target for the Europeans. Like Africa. Africa, we don't have any fucking interest in Africa, to be completely frank. But oh, by the way, every single fucking thing that we're involved in with Africa happened to be aligned with the Brits and the fucking French.
Yeah. Let me adjust how I said that then. Or the way I meant it. The federal government at large, no. Individual organizations buried in the government, yes.
Yes.
Individual three-letter agencies, yes.
And, oh, by the way, the majority of those being, either English socialists or evangelicals.
Yeah.
But yes.
I'm glad that more people are finally waking up to the evangelical problem. And as I often say, we need a final solution for the evangelical problem.
Yeah, interestingly enough, even way back in the day, the first couple of ships I served on in the Navy, we had a few evangelicals amongst the crew, and let's just say in my experience with them, I told them in exactly so many words to go the fuck away and leave me alone.
Oh, yeah, no. Here's the thing. Evangelicals, Mormons, and Puritans, they're all within the same group in my mind. They all need to be in a fucking internment camp.
Yeah.
Round them up, put them in a camp,
Yeah.
confiscate all their shit, and then send them back to Europe.
Yeah. By way of example, like I said, on my first boat I was on, from 79 to 81, turns out, a couple of the guys that were on there were, shall we say, in violation of the UCMJ in terms of their sexual preferences.
Of course, the fucking evangelicals were fucking.
Oh yes, and they tried to go out of their way to make life hard for them, whereas the other 99% of the crew was like, we don't give a damn what they do in their own bedroom in their own house on their old time. Said as long as that when we're on board ship, they do their damn job like everybody else and don't bother anybody.
Yep.
And
Keep it off the boat and we're all good, right?
Yeah.
All right, so honestly, Bart, the majority of that you could actually keep in, as long as trucks aren't too loud in the background or the blowers in the cooler deck or whatever.
Yeah,
I guess the majority of it.
I was thinking of keeping most of that in anyways. 'Cause, yeah.
All right, if there are spots where it's loud in the background on my microphone, I apologize.
Honestly, out of every time you've ever done your trucks, I don't think the microphone has ever picked up a single sound from it.
Yeah, I haven't heard one.
Yeah.
That's impressive, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
impressive. Because
I can't say I've ever heard any background noise from the trucks either, the times I've been listening.
Okay, I again, it's just a concern that I've always had because the reefers are loud as fuck. So
Yeah.
and Mitch knows exactly how loud fucking reefer is.
Dear God. Yeah.
When they're running on diesel, when they're on diesel power, they're fucking insanely loud at times. But yeah, no, and at the end of the day, and yes, here's the thing, is that there are three questions that are going to have to be answered here in the United States. The Puritan question, the Mormon question, and the evangelical question. Those three questions are going to have to be fucking answered at some point in time. And nobody is going to like the options that are available, period, in the fucking story.
So who do you consider the Puritans? Because aren't they mostly the evangelicals?
No, actually, no. The Puritans are actually mostly leftists, funny enough. They are the religious Northeast, New Englanders. And here's the thing, is a lot of people, because they became politically irrelevant because of the Quakers, everybody kind of forgot that they fucking existed, but they do exist. 90% of the fucking Ivy League schools in the country and a lot of higher education are in the Puritan territories. Well, here's the problem, is that just because they were politically irrelevant 100 years ago doesn't mean they're not politically irrelevant nowadays. I'll take Elizabeth Warren, for example, who happens to
Please take her.
Oh, God. Anyway.
Yeah,
exactly.
I had to make the joke.
These Puritans that you're talking about, aren't they also these same type of assholes that are pushing for video game censorship and digital ID and shit like that?
Yeah, no,
they're pissing off. Yeah, they're pissing off all the gamers.
They're the same people that in the 80s were trying to ban rock music.
Yeah, again, the evangelicals and the Puritans have a lot of overlap. They have a lot of overlap, but there are some things that are particular. because Puritans tend to be more leftist, whereas evangelicals tend to be more rightoid. And so what you end up having is that the Puritans, again, just because they were politically relevant 100 years ago doesn't mean they're politically irrelevant today. They're actually quite fucking relevant. Again, Elizabeth Warren, she literally runs a department in the government, even though she's a fucking senator, by the way. Like, she's a fucking member of Congress, and she heads a department of the government. Like, that should tell you everything you fucking need to know about this woman. Yeah. But the point is that that same fucking department of the government can basically determine if a company is allowed to operate in the United States.
Oh, that's right. I forgot she was there.
Yeah.
What
is it? The consumer finance protection agency or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yep, something like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of senators, senators and their bullshit, what's the latest on the Nancy Pelosi bill?
Dude, honestly speaking, I don't really care, because at the end of the day, we have much bigger fish to fry than fucking insider trading on Congress. Yeah.
Also,
like, literally, so many people.
I'm more interested in Schiff than Pelosi.
Also, I thought that Trump killed the CFPB, or Doge killed the CFPB. Like,
no, he just signed the executive order killing it.
Oh,
he just signed it. But that's the point. Is her grip on the economy of the United States was fucking insane. And it's like, she's a Puritan through and through. She is in fact a Puritan, and again, just because you thought just because they were politically irrelevant 100 years ago doesn't mean they're not politically relevant now. And then you look at the Quakers. The Quakers have always been the cornerstone of American economic and political development. I'm part of the Quaker sphere.
Right.
We have been the breadbasket. We have been the economic basket. We have been the ability for this country to grow. It's called the Rust Belt. The Rust Belt is literally Quaker territory. They killed the what was it called back in the day? The Iron Belt, the Steel Belt, whatever they called it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about, I'm drawing a blank too.
But they killed that on purpose to deflate the political influence of the Quaker sphere, because with the Quaker sphere out of the way, they could do whatever the fuck they wanted. By the way, this is around the same time that the evangelicals picked up steam as well. Funny enough. It's almost like, two wings of the bird. Just saying. Now, the Mormons are, in my opinion, the reason why the Mormons need to be handled. The Puritans, the evangelicals, they're clear. They're both the problem children of the family, and they need to be handled. The Mormons are the black sheep that is problematic, because the black sheep has come home to roost, and they need to be handled because they're going to become a problem later down the line.
In my opinion, Mormonism is just a DLC expansion pack of Christianity.
Well, no, it's not.
It's Joseph Smith's fan fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's a fan fiction by an egotistical piece of shit. He just wanted to be able to fuck anybody he wanted to. That's all the guy wanted. Yeah. It's like Wicca. Wicca was developed by a guy who just wanted to have sex with a lot of women in the forest. That's all it was.
Sounds about right.
He thought there was too many branches on the tree.
But no, the point is that at the end of the day, that was actually really good, William. I fucking like that.
He was going for the telephone pole effect.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But the fact of the matter is at the end of the day, you have this massive 3 questions, that TV show, The Three Body Problem. In the U.S. we have the religion problem. We have questions to answer about all three of these groups, and nobody's gonna like the fucking answer, because the answer, if I had my way about it and I could build the fucking political momentum for it, would be, okay, Puritans, you get to go back to fucking England. Go fuck yourselves. Mormons? Oh, hey, bud. We're ready for a rematch, and you ain't gonna win this one. Evangelicals? Y'all are gonna sit the fuck down and sit in the re-education camp, and we're gonna be giving you the King James Bible this time, not the Schofield edition.
Or another idea: as you send the Puritans back to England, deport them. You deport the evangelicals to Israel.
Okay, I guess that's an option.
Yeah,
But
if I might,
do it.
I think there might be a for religion problem in the offing, considering the number of immigrants that have been coming in over the past few decades that subscribe to the quote-unquote religion of peace as well.
Well, okay, so that right there is not part of the equation in this regard, because those motherfuckers are outsiders to begin with, and we will handle them as we need. Like, honestly speaking, if they just want to exist in their little bubble, let's just let them exist in their little bubble. We do that with the Amish.
Hey, I live way close to Flint for you to be saying that.
Sorry. I keep forgetting that you're in Michigan. But the point is, if they want to exist in their own little bubbles and they just want to do their own little thing, fine, go ahead, do it. You're not allowed to buy land. You're not allowed to expand outside of these areas. We're putting a containment policy on your asses. If you decide to fuck around and find out, we will come in, we will kill a shit ton of you, and then we'll fucking haul you over the border to Mexico and let Mexico deal with you. Oh, by the way,
basically
this is the reformed Mexico that's going to stick you in a fucking CCOP facility.
So basically what your proposal is to turn Dearbornistan into a walled-off enclave.
No, an Indian reservation.
Yes.
Basically.
Except
That-
there'll be
Here's the thing.
And we don't
I
even
was
have
wanting to
work
go-
a bunch of money because they don't gamble.
Yeah. And they'll be smoking hookahs instead of peace pipes.
And I was wanting to go escape from New York on them.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
no, here's-
speaking of New York, considering looking at Mamdani, if the residents of New York City are insane enough to actually make him mayor,
Yes.
I would lay even money that I wouldn't put it past him that once he's mayor, that he doesn't try to start allowing like Sharia law and their own Sharia police in some way or another.
Here's the thing. So Mamdani, that little shithead. I've talked with a couple Jordanians and Syrians that I know about him. At this point in time, they've all said the same thing. If he gets elected, he will be the impetus for the removal of Arabs from the country. They all fucking say it. They all have that same opinion. They're like, if he gets elected in New York, it will start in New York, where they'll just wholesale start removing Arabs, because he will allow for such a wave of bullshit to occur that the federal government will go in and here's the thing. Just like how in California, now we have the impetus to just start wholesale fucking removing more and more people and getting rid of these fucking shitheads. You're going to have the same thing with Mamdani. Mamdani is the Arab side of this equation. If Mamdani gets fucking elected, it's going to end very, very differently than what he thinks it might. Because all of a sudden, ICE is going to start showing up and just start wholesale deporting fucking Arabs. They're going to, the State Department is going to start fucking rescinding every fucking visa. So on and so on and so on. I hope Mamdani gets fucking elected.
Yeah.
I hope. Because the biblical fucking proportions of the shit show is going to be unfucking real. So, fuck it. I'm here for it. I love this timeline.
Yeah. Also, don't forget what it's gonna do to places like Wall Street. They're all gonna fucking leave.
They're already on the verge of that already.
No, they're already leaving. They're already leaving.
They're already leaving.
Several banks have already relocated their main headquarters to Charlotte. So as Mitch has mentioned before, there's a lot of banks that are headquartered or have ancillary offices in Charlotte, North Carolina. There's a shit ton that are just moving their fucking headquarters.
Yeah. They're moving to Charlotte and they're moving to Texas.
They're not moving to Texas. There's only a couple that have moved to Texas. And that's because Texas is given some preferential treatment. Where they're mostly moving to, though, a lot of the investment firms and a lot of the hedge funds, they're moving to Nashville.
Oh, that's true.
Because Nashville basically opened the door and said, we will set corporate tax at this level if you guys come in. The impetus has already been given. They're already on the move. It's already happening. Mamdani getting elected is just going to cause the holdouts to move. The ones that are already wanting to pre-position themselves for a better take, they're already leaving.
Yeah, to be fair, the three major banks I know of that have their headquarters down in Charlotte, they moved into Charlotte like, it was something on the order of at least 20 years ago. So this wasn't a recent development as far as the three down in Charlotte there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't remember the name of there were 4 banks that were saying that they were moving their headquarters to Charlotte, but they have ancillary offices already there. I can't remember what the 4 are off the top of my head.
One of them was Bank of America.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, I know both was down there. But the point is that at this point in time, Wall Street's fucking emptying out. Like, JP Morgan Chase is already talking about moving to Nashville. They're already talking about doing it. And if JP Morgan Chase moves to Nashville, New York's fucked. They're done. And mind you, I will remind everybody here that Mamdani does not have a mandate. Whether people want to believe the fucking polls doesn't matter. The fact that more than 60% of people, it's something around 62%, the fact that more than 60% of people are saying we don't want Mamdani is a big fucking indicator. This guy has no political capital. He's going to have to do some tyrant shit in order to fucking push his political agenda.
That's why I can't stand ranked voting.
Any place that has ranked voting is a shitty place to be, in my opinion. I will never exist in a state. There's a reason why I'm putting my we're referring to as the ranch, but the ranch is going to be here in Ohio. Period. In the fucking story, because Ohio will never allow for half the shit that these motherfuckers want to do and want to institute, because the people of Ohio have told them time and time again, no, we will fucking shoot you, no. No, don't fuck with Ohio, man. Don't, like, Michigan can talk all their shit about having a bunch of crazy motherfuckers up in the fucking Upper Peninsula and shit like that. Nah, that's the whole fucking state, motherfucker. Ohio is the whole fucking state. There's a reason why these motherfuckers exist on islands here.
Hey, I'll admit that. And I got Uper blood in me, and I'll admit that.
Yeah, I just did a quick Google search, which said what banks are headquartered in Charlotte, North Carolina. Bank of America, Truist Financial, Ally Financial, Fifth Third Bank, and American Express. And I wish to God they'd went somewhere else, because they've turned where we live at in the south end of the next county up and around Lake Norman into a gigantic freaking bedroom community.
Uh-huh.
Well, here's the thing. Is there's also another thing going. So, you guys remember how everybody is, bitching and whining and crying, especially libertarians. Bark, yap, fucking ankle biters that they are. They're bitching about the fucking they're bitching about the Fort Knox audit.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that, but yeah.
Well, here's the fun part. So some indications have been given about the Merriam-Ackles building. There's a potential. The last audit for Fort Knox was like what, 200? It was like shit. Was it like 200 million tons or whatever the fuck it was?
Mm-hmm.
The last actual audit or the last confirmed real audit?
The last confirmed audit. It was like 180 to 200 something.
Yeah,
something.
it was in the 50s.
Whatever.
Point
Point
is 1950s, but yeah, the quantity sounds about right.
I don't think the one in the 50s was so much as an audit, but basically let certain select politicians and such to go in there and look and say, see, here's the stacks of gold. We actually do still have gold in Fort Knox.
Oh, that was the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the 70s.
Yeah.
But no, here's the point. Is there's indications, given some things that have been said and some movements that's been made, that might be what's under the Merriam-Ackles building.
That would be interesting.
So I can only imagine what the fuck is under Fort Knox still. Probably at least double what was the last audit. So yeah, gold wise, and the reason why I bring it up is because there's indications that they're wanting to start moving stuff out of the Merriam-Ackles building to Fort Knox.
That's interesting.
Which,
not heard.
Well, I've heard whispers of it because of the whole situation with New York and whatnot, and just the overall shit show that it could potentially become if they have to go the hard route with dealing with Mamdani if he fucking gets elected and whatnot.
If they got to go snake and they want to get everything out first.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a good chance that all these libertarians bitching about a fucking audit, and it's like, oh yeah, we have triple the gold that you guys knew about. We just didn't want to talk about it because we didn't want to fucking piss off the rest of the world. Because, oh, by the way, the Chinese have at least double what they're reporting. And the Russians, they only give us what they report in their foreign reserves and the one bank, which I believe is the Russian central bank, but they don't report what they have in Gazprom Bank or the other bank, and I forget what that one's called. But the Europeans, oh, guess what? The COMEX is still fucking trying desperately to fucking to deliver gold, and they're still 8 weeks behind.
Yeah.
Which I feel bad for Argentina.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the Europeans, Lee Stoner was asking about the latest info on the results from the summit between Trump and Putin there.
Okay, so Trump and Putin meeting. This, dude, it was fucking excellent. Because one, let me just say this right now. I have never seen Trump ignore reporters the way he did.
Yeah, that's true.
And I have never seen, because Putin is always willing to take questions from reporters. Always. The way that Putin blew off the reporters.
Putin or Trump?
Both of them. But Putin was really funny because I'm like, he always fields questions. Like, that motherfucker will sit for 3 hours and fucking field questions. Like, he always does it. Every fucking press conference that I've watched of Putin's, he's always fielded questions. And then Trump will usually field like 5-10 questions. Well, they just blew the reporters off completely at the summit. It was like, oh my God, they are telling them exactly where they can stick it. Like, holy shit.
Check the side chat for appropriate memes.
I'm outside hitting my vape right now, so I can't.
Homosexual, gay, kisses boys,
Phone's
like
on the charger.
boys, kisses boys, gay, homosexual.
Basically, yes.
But, so what you end up having is
No, that's actually an insult to anime girls.
Oh God!
Like,
Now I gotta look. Okay, for some reason my side chat's not fucking updating. I can't see past Varg's last thing that he. Weird.
yeah, I can't even get into it.
Huh.
Yeah, I think the reason that both Trump and Putin blew off the press at the very end, from my understanding, I didn't catch that part of it, but when he initially came in off the plane, they went in there and was going to have the press start asking Putin questions before they started going and having discussions. And when Trump opened it up, and I mean, they were literally screaming like a pack of hyenas to where you couldn't understand anything. And Putin was sitting there looking at him with just like, oh, what the fuck is this shit look on his face? And one guy was saying, he said, my God, is this what Trump has to deal with every frickin' day?
Yeah, you could look at you saw him look over at one of his translators in that squeaky little voice. Yeah.
Well, so what you end up having is that in general, with how quick this summit was,
Yeah. Oh my God, was it fast?
things. What was it, like 40 minutes?
I think they were
all total
an
negotiations were like 2.5 to 3 hours, and they actually cut off the part to where the delegations were supposed to get together.
Well, the point is,
Yeah, it was basically the two of them in a room, and then they flew away.
that I think, and I'm gonna agree with Tom Luongo on this. I believe that they have already had the discussions, and this was purely from the perspective of, okay, are we in agreement on this? Yes, we're in agreement. And then it was to give time, honestly speaking, for the administrations of the two countries to talk, because they haven't been able to talk. That's my read on it, personally. And as a result, like, honestly speaking, like, the Europeans are fucked. They're so fucked.
Oh, when
So you think it's? Go ahead.
Yeah. When I heard when they were starting to wrap up negotiations and the Russian delegation came out, and the guy was watching live streaming, it was coming off of Fox News, and before they even came in there to do the press conference, they were reporting, said, yeah, some reporters have already talked to the Russian delegation, and they said they were quite happy with the results of the negotiations and that it was an excellent meeting. I said, oh my God. I said, every frickin' leader in Europe and Zelensky just shit their pants.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, and here's the thing. Is more than likely Trump wants out of the Europe problem as much as Russia wants to be. And
At this point, yeah, probably.
I have a sneaky suspicion that he is, because you have the Armenian Azerbaijan thing right before this. That whole issue has been solved. The Russians don't have to fucking be there to babysit the fucking Armenians anymore. The Armenians, which the Armenian President Pashinyan is a EU hack. He was installed specifically by the EU to be a problem for the Russians. Trump solves that problem, forces an agreement takes control of the energy corridor and basically creates the conditions where the ball's now in Turkey's court. Like, now Turkey has to fucking make a decision.
Yeah, now the Turks are the problem.
And it's gotten to the point where what happens with Odessa? That's the big question. I'm going to be honest, because Tom dropped this idea in a podcast, and I rolled it around in my head, and I'm like, oh my fucking God, that might actually be the play. Because the problem is that
I
the
missed
EU,
that. What about Odessa?
Well, I'll get to it. The EU and the Ukrainians can't be allowed to control the ports. The ports. Not the city, the ports. The ports are what matter.
Yeah.
Well, who just bought Nord Stream?
Who?
I don't know.
The
Honestly.
U.S.
Huh.
Oh, did they really?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
We're now going to be acting as an intermediary between Russia and Germany.
Oh, I did not know that at all. So we're basically going to be selling to Germany from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Now, think about that. If the U.S. buys the ports in Odessa, the EU doesn't have any power. It's done. Over.
Would Putin allow for that? Because that's one of their major ports.
Why would they allow us to buy Nord Stream?
That's true. That's one of their major
wasn't
right now.
If there wasn't an agreement in place, why would we be allowed to buy Nord Stream? If we take control of the ports and we act as an intermediary between a cut down to size Ukraine and a very, 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 very beleaguered Ukraine, because let's face it, the Ukrainians are fucking done at this point in time. You look at the penetrations through the lines that are going on right now across the board, you're like, yeah, no, they're done. It's over.
Yeah, they're just out of people.
And the Russians tell the U.S. like, hey, we're gonna try to end this as quickly as possible for you. Here's our conditions. If they don't agree, then we're gonna give you an out. You can get out, and then we're gonna go to the river.
And having the U.S. in control of the ports in Odessa, that would cockblock the British, which for the last almost 2 centuries now has been trying desperately to get like a military base in the Black Sea.
Yep.
That would basically bottle them back up onto the island.
Well, no, then they're restricted to Greece. But here's the problem. Greece has already announced they're not re-upping the leasing to the Brits.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that either.
Yeah. Guess who they're giving the leasing rights to?
Who?
Oh, jeez.
America?
The U.S.
Oh, good grief.
It's not being now, mind you, the lease is I think it was like the 2050s when that lease is up. So it's not going to be for a while. That's why it's not getting a lot of attention. But I've heard that they're getting rid of the Brits from Greece and they're bringing the Americans in. Oh, by the way, the Americans are currently selling a shit ton of fucking hardware to the Greeks. The Greeks are one of the most well-trained and well-equipped fucking forces in Europe. Oh, I wonder why we would be equipping and training the Greeks as hard as we are.
Because they're sitting right next to Turkey.
And what city?
Constantinople might rise again.
Yeah, if you want to get into the Atlantic, you got to be able to get by Greece.
Yep. Well,
Unless
the point is if Greece takes complete control of the Aegean and takes control of the Bosphorus, it instantly opens up the way for the Russians. The Russians have no gatekeeper at that point in time. Not a single one.
That's probably also one of the reasons, speaking again of the ports, why part of the supposedly the agreement between Trump and Putin was when it came to security guarantees or any peacekeepers, there would not be any NATO troops in there.
When you say in there, do you mean Greece?
In Ukraine.
Okay. Well, yeah, they wouldn't have to. You post everybody up in Greece, and you arm up the islands over there. Nobody.
Well, and here's the point: is that I think what's going to happen is that the Europeans are going to try to force the issue, because one of the things that I brought up previously in another discussion, I don't remember who I was talking. Oh, I was talking to Blood Raven, and one of the points that I brought up to him was there is a division in the U.S. military. You have the Pentagon and NATO. The NATO American officer cadre does not like the Pentagon's cadre because the NATO command wants to go fight Russia. Well, okay, cool. We're recalling you anyways.
Well, that's the only reason they exist.
We're not going to war in Ukraine.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. The Americans that are pushing for this shit, shouldn't they be removed from their positions and be forced to resign from the military? Because they're going to be a problem later on.
Listen. What you do, you can't necessarily just remove them. Now you can, but it's going to create problems.
Oh, you just rubber them.
Well, that's the thing is you recall them, you bring them back to the Pentagon, you sit them at a fucking desk.
Yeah, you rubber room them.
Or you assign them to a base up in Moose Jaw, Alaska.
No, you don't want to do that because they're too close to Russia.
Yeah.
Well,
that's an old joke from the Beverly Hillbillies back in the day. Milburn Drysdale, the banker, he was constantly afraid of losing Jed Clampett's account because his bosses might send him to be in charge of a bank in Moose Jaw, Alaska.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it. Talk about a blast from the past.
Yeah. But here's the point: is you just sit them down in the Pentagon where they can be reached. You put them. The whole saying, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. You put them at a desk in the Pentagon, they can be observed and monitored, and they have no command. They have no command. They have no authority. They're just sat at a fucking desk. 90% of them will fucking retire out. They'll get out on fucking general discharge because they're like, no, fuck this. I don't want to be here. And then half of them will run off and join the French Foreign Legion or some shit like that.
And be doubly useless.
Yeah. But basically what I've been hearing, the response that came out from the Europeans and Zelensky had their little meeting. I think it was either yesterday or today sometime. Oh, they're basically still trying to push the same line of bullshit. Oh no, we got to have security guarantees with European troops, and it's the same. Ukraine can't give up any territory. There should be no limits on what they could have for a military. They still should be part of NATO and the EU. Yeah, I'm beginning to think that meeting tomorrow with Trump is going to be Trump saying, "Sit down and shut the fuck up," and here's what's going to happen.
Well, Trump basically has. Oh, what's his name? Little Mr. Comedian. Zelensky. Yeah. Basically going, yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, he controls Zelensky's life. Zelensky, I don't know what Trump has on Zelensky right now, but I suspect it has to do with his corruption.
Well, but he has something too embarrassing considering how he used to play the piano.
Yeah. But the point is that because right now, you guys remember the whole fucking shit show that started it was late last month, early this month, where there was that whole bill that Zelensky signed into law, and then there was this whole, oh my God, Zelensky's killing anti-corruption operations in Ukraine, yada, 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 so on and so forth. He's trying to protect his friends, yada, yada, yada. I think, personally speaking, that might have been a U.S. job. I think that might have been the U.S. ginning up that situation, because at the end of the day, they knew damn well that Zelensky was going to sign that fucking bill, so why not put him in the hot seat? And
if you
now,
want what you have, you do what we say, or we're going to dump all the dirty laundry.
exactly.
Yeah, do as you're told, or we're going to let your dear friends that are part of the Azov battalions that are pissed off at you because you let their comrades get trapped and killed in Mariupol 3 years ago, we're going to let them come up to Kiev and have a fucking word with you. Yeah.
Oh, and they will.
Actually, speaking of Azov, Azov finally revealed themselves. Have you guys heard about that?
No.
So apparently, Azov was part of the counterattack against the Pokrovsk breach.
Yes.
Now, there's a bunch of bullshit about how they've cut off a bunch of units and they've done this and they've done that and so on and so forth. The heroes Azov. The problem is I've seen several reports of Azov getting bombed to shit and back since they revealed themselves. And given the fact that Azov is one of the most well-equipped units in the Ukrainian National Guard, it's like, I wonder if, just maybe, the operation around, breaching past Pokrovsk was an attempt to lure out operational reserves that were needed elsewhere, but they needed to get them to draw them out. Oh, by the way, as soon as the Ukrainians were lauding the heroes of Azov, all of a sudden there's several breaches along the line in areas where there shouldn't be breaches in the line. I think the Ukrainians fell for this operation hook, line, and fucking sinker, and they put themselves in the open, and the Russians were like, "Yay, target practice." I'm honest. I've made the joke that we should refer to it as the Pokrovsk turkey shoot.
Yeah, and be honest, this is not the first time the Ukrainians have been stupid in public and fell for something like that.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. So,
But, yeah, and further, like you said, given what the Europeans and Zelensky are still trying to stick to the same old tired script, and probably going to try to torpedo this agreement if Trump tells them, if they don't want to go along when Trump tells them to sit down and shut the hell up and do as they're told, well then there you go. Trump's got the perfect excuse, said, hey, I tried, we're fucking done with it. No more money, no nothing. We're out of here.
well, and here's the fucking hilarious part, is they're literally giving Trump exactly what he wants. He wants an off-ramp. He wants to get the fuck out.
Oh, yeah. He's wanted that from day one.
And they're giving him exactly what the fuck he wants. So it really comes down to these dumb fuckers do not realize they're playing to Trump's tune. It's like, yes, send 250,000 troops into fucking Ukraine. We're gonna laugh as a shit ton of them get put in body bags real fucking fast. And then we're gonna pull out of NATO. Like, talk about rug pulls. Like, they're setting themselves up for such a rug pull that it's uncanny. It's like, holy shit, you guys are actually fucking going for this. So, honestly speaking, all I gotta say is I wanna take the train from LA to Moscow. That's what I wanna do. And when we build those fucking tunnels, it's gonna be hilarious. Because the Europeans are gonna freak the fuck out once that happens. Once that railroad's established, it's gonna create fucking bedlam, and it's gonna be glorious.
Yep. Yeah, I found it hilarious how that little meeting, I saw a video of the meeting, saw earlier they had Zelensky and von der Leyen and European press up there, and
I need to
von der
correct you.
Leyen was given the old line saying, oh, well, actually it was Poland that said, oh, international borders should not be changed by force and we need to stop the killing. That's strange. I said to myself, it's a shame you didn't fucking feel that way last century when you drug the rest of the world into 2 fucking world wars. You know?
Real quick, I do have to correct you though. It's not von der Leyen, it's von der Satan. Get it right.
Yes.
Put it mildly, she's a bitch either way.
No, and it's hilarious because right now, going back to Europe a little bit, you have the situation in the UK, you have the situation in Spain, the whole Catalonia separation movement. The more that I learn about it, the more I'm like, oh my God, it's fucking European fucking bullshit. Like, you look at the funding for the Catalonians, and you find out that it's a lot of French NGOs that are funding it. And it's like, oh shit, like this is how they attempt to cut Aragon away from Spain, to try to retain some control over the northern coast of the Mediterranean. Then you have, Italy is getting ready to split from the EU. Greece is going to be coming alongside Italy, which is hilarious, given the fact that it's like, wait, is the Hellenic world actually coming back? Holy shit. It's like, fuck, all right, it's go time, boys. So it's very much a case of, like, Europe is not just fucked. They're bent over the barrel without lube. Like, that's how bad it is for them right now. It's going to be fucking delicious to watch.
That it will.
Could say if Benjamin Franklin were still around, he'd say, yeah, here's karma for 1,000 years of the frickin' mischief you've inflicted upon the rest of the world.
If Ben Franklin was around at this time, he'd be sitting there being like, damn, even I can't fuck a bitch like that. Damn.
Yeah, I don't know if
Franklin.
Yeah, I don't know if Franklin ever actually said anything along that line, but remember the old musical 1776 came out back in the 70s around the bicentennial, and in there the one guy that was playing Benjamin Franklin uttered line, said one of the other reasons for them declaring independence from the British was that they were sick and tired of 1,000 years of European mischief.
Hey, gentlemen, check the side chat real quick. I got some shit in there for you.
I can't check anything. DM me it. Side chat is broken for me right now, so I can't see anything.
He said.
Yeah,
that
I can't get into viewing.
He said he thinks that Trump has Zelensky's cocaine supply hostage to control him.
No, not the Colombian booger sugar.
Yes.
No, actually, so just to go back to Zelensky, and I'll kind of cover some of the supposition that I have in regards to him. So one of the things that I think is going on with Zelensky and why Zelensky has started changing his tune as much as he hasn't folded completely, but that's because he has to keep up appearances. But I think the reason why he has folded as much as he has recently is based off the fact that, oh, hey, by the way, we did an IRS audit of you. We actually know how much money you actually have in the U.S. and this, that, and the other. And, oh, by the way, there seems to be a lot of bills that we flagged that, it's like, weird. These were part of the aid shipments to Ukraine. Funny. Wonder why these are here.
You mean we know how much money your mother has in the U.S.?
Oh yeah, true. That's right.
Yep. And if you
Oh.
want to have an exit strategy once this war is over, you'll play ball, or else we'll make sure you're unable to leave Ukraine and, leave you to the tender mercies of your own people.
Well, to be fair, he does have a couple of homes in Switzerland. But if Switzerland keeps doing what they're doing, I don't think they'll let him in either. Have you?
Then too, he has a couple luxury yachts. I think sum total was close to like $100 million paid for them, that he got some of his henchmen to buy for him, and they're sitting down, I think, in Dubai.
Okay. Well, Dubai will let him in, but that's because if you got money, Dubai will let anybody in.
Oh man, ain't that the truth?
Actually, so here's the fun part. Because I brought up Switzerland, I actually need to talk about it. So, did you guys ever imagine that we would be comrades in arms with the Swiss?
No,
Like at all?
not in the least.
Yeah. So, the EU is working desperately to basically kill the Swiss banking system. Like totally, like absolutely. Like they're trying to kill that shit as hard as they can. And the reason being is because they need the Swiss architecture as part of the digital euro stuff. And so they can't implement the digital euro without the Swiss being involved.
Well, aren't the
Because of all
Swiss
the assets the Swiss have under control.
Aren't the Swiss historically neutral, though? They don't tend to take sides in anything.
Oh, yeah, no, they're trying...
Vatican.
They like I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to Twitter, but the Europe Federalist pages on Twitter have been talking hardcore about incorporating Switzerland into the EU itself. And it's like, I wonder why you're talking about this.
Wait,
It's almost like you're. Go ahead.
Wait, I thought Switzerland was already in the EU. Are they?
No,
not?
they're not.
Oh.
No, they're not.
No, they've been very proudly not for a long time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Exactly why the EU wants them to come in, because they want to get their hands on all the money the Swiss have.
Well, and not just that, but they tried. Their first attempt at it was killing Credit Suisse. See, the more I learn about the Credit Suisse situation, because mind you, I was invested in Credit Suisse. I was invested in SLVO and USOI, which was Credit Suisse's silver and oil funds. And so I was paying attention hardcore to the whole situation with Credit Suisse when it fell apart. And that situation with Credit Suisse was a carbon copy of what happened to FTX. You guys remember the whole Sam Bankman-Fried shit show?
Yeah.
It was literally a carbon copy. Except, here's the thing. The U.S. succeeded in executing FTX. The EU failed when they failed in the attempt to execute Credit Suisse. Because in the case of FTX, who bought up the banks that failed because of the FTX scandal?
Who?
Oh, come on, guys. You should know this.
I'm sorry, ask the question again.
Who bought up the banks that failed as part of the FTX scandal?
Wasn't that us?
Technically, it was the New York Fed. Oh, guess who's the former head of the New York Fed?
Jerome Powell.
Jerome fucking Powell. And then, who organized UBS buying Credit Suisse.
Jerome Powell.
Close. But no cigar. Donald Trump.
Oh, interesting.
Donald Trump was one of the biggest guys screaming about the FTX or the Credit Suisse situation. And through Jerome Powell, got UBS to buy up Credit Suisse.
Was this during Trump's first term, or was this more...
No, this was during Biden's term.
Oh.
Yeah, that was before Trump. Or no, I'm sorry. That was between.
Yeah.
That was during Biden's.
Year after?
Yeah, 21, 22.
Yeah, it was just after things were starting to open up.
But that's the point, is these motherfuckers, they tried to use FTX as a way to drain assets from the U.S. We killed FTX, and then they tried to grab the Swiss assets by killing Credit Suisse, and then we got UBS to buy up Credit Suisse, which kept it out of European hands. The City of London was making the offers on Credit Suisse originally, before UBS made the offer.
Okay, I remember London. I didn't remember UBS.
Well, UBS is another Swiss bank. UBS didn't want anything to do with it because Credit Suisse's balance sheet was dog shit, to be honest. UBS ate a shit sandwich on that deal. But what it did was it kept the Swiss banking system out from reach of the City of London and the EU.
Yeah, in Switzerland.
So, again, how does it feel to be brothers in arms with the fucking Swiss? Like, I'm sitting here and I'm just imagining fucking Swiss guardsmen fucking, doing a parade for fucking Trump at this point.
That would be ironic.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to Europeans, the Swiss are probably the least obnoxious. They don't generally start wars and pull other people into them, so that's good.
True, very true.
Yeah. What's the old saying? The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yep.
That is true, but if I have to have an ally in Europe, not that area, but in Europe in general, I'd still say the Poles are pretty good.
Well, here's the problem with the Poles, and this is a thing that I've had to make very clear to my girlfriend, because she has a high opinion of the Poles, but I've had to explain to her, it's like, yeah, cool. The Poles on the surface look awesome. The problem is that they're a bunch of whiny little bitches underneath.
Yeah, it depends on who we're dealing with. That is true.
Well, it's kind of just general rule, unfortunately, because the problem is that they have been, and to their credit, it's mainly people acting upon them that is the issue. The problem is that they also create their own misery. Like, for example, you're like, oh my God, the Soviets were so bad. Fuck the Russians, blah, blah, blah. It's like, but the Soviet Union collapsed.
Yeah.
And you got a hate boner against the Russians for crimes that the majority of the people that committed said crimes, because most of the crimes happened during the Stalin years of the USSR, all of those people are fucking dead. Like, can you not just drop the antics for a short time to realize that you're being played? Or are you just so much of a little whipping boy that you can't not be the whipping boy? Like, if that's the case, then fine, we'll treat you like a whipping boy. Like, I don't care. Like,
and they seem to forget that too. Yeah, their supposed neighbors and allies, and like the European Union, have been trying to fuck them over far worse than what the present Russian government has been trying to do.
Yeah. Also.
Oh yeah, no. I had to make it very clear to a poll. This was like last year or something like that. He was in a Discord that I was in, bitching up a storm about Russia, and I laughed and I was like, the Russians aren't telling you need to die for Europe.
Yeah.
Just gonna point that out, bud.
Also,
the Russians don't care about you.
Mhm.
They have a nice little buffer state called Belarus between you and them. They don't care about you. You're irrelevant to them.
all right. Also, it's worth noting with Poland specifically, it's better to think of Poland as two distinct entities because, like, Western Poland is basically just Brussels, and Eastern Poland is basically just Russia.
While that dynamic does kind of exist, it's not like Germany.
Right.
Germany, that dynamic 100% exists. Like 100%. But in the case of Poland, it's a little different. But at the same time, again, as I said, it's whipping boys. They're the little, they're the little child sex slaves of the Europeans that they get used and abused whenever they want to, and they're happy to have it happen to them. It's weird. I don't understand the cultural dynamic behind it. Like, I don't understand the cultural psyche, but these motherfuckers just love being killed or abused. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Number of times they've been invaded and put under the boot.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're just butthurt about being partitioned so many times by so many different Europeans.
Well, look at it. Look at it this way. It's really funny that you bring up the whole partition bullshit, because I've ran into quite a few polls, like the ultra militaristic ones, that continuously talk about the Commonwealth. And it's like, motherfucker, you do realize the Commonwealth died because y'all started a war. Like, y'all were the aggressors in that whole thing, and the Commonwealth died with that war. Like, what do you want? Like, I want you to, like, and this is the hilarious part about it, is like, the I forget the one king that died against the Ottomans. I forget his name off the top of my head. But that's when the Commonwealth officially split. But it's like, no, it died previously. Like, you decided to war against the Russians, or the Muscovites as they were referred to back then. You decided to engage in a war against the Muscovites, and you learned real quick that, oh yeah, our cavalry doesn't burn nearly as much as we thought it did, because the Muscovites are really good with pikes. Like, what do you want? Like, boo-hoo, you lost a war. Like, congratulations. Like, I get it. You're not the U.S. You can't just win every single one that you fucking fight. Like, I get it. But, doesn't mean you have to be butthurt over it.
Yeah, that line right there, what you said, boo-hoo, you lost the war, get over it. Oh, I would give real money if Trump said that to fucking Zelensky tomorrow and there was video of it.
He would.
Oh, that'd be brilliant. That'd fucking be brilliant. No, and here's the fun part. The Russians gave the Ukrainians the easiest out ever. It's like, pull away from the territories that we've claimed, and then you get to live. They gave them the easiest out possible. If the Ukrainians are retarded and don't take it, then, well, oh well. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, I think what the Europeans aim right now is where they're still trying to keep the same old line about, allowing them into NATO and having, European peacekeeping troops like that. They know they've lost this round. They're just trying to gear up for in 20 years, trying for round 2.
Well, that's the funny part, is because in 20 years, the game board's going to look a lot fucking different if the U.S. and Russia normalize relations now and then proceed to build on those relations for the next 20 years, the game board is going to look totally fucking different.
Yeah. Except you can't tell the Europeans that.
No.
Well, you are correct. The Europeans, they do have some reading comprehension issues.
Among others. I've heard a few people already coined the term now after they see how they're acting after the summit. Now, in addition to all the other quote-unquote fatigues that people are complaining about now I've started hearing people complaining of European fatigue.
Well, and see, here's the fun part about it, and this is just a personal thing for me, is so I got into this whole spat, and the level of unhinged that I went in this spat just to piss these people off was fucking ungodly. Like, I went full fucking unhinged just to piss them off.
Nice.
And what was so good about that conversation was they fucking exposed themselves so easily. They do not care as long as they get their pound of flesh from the Russians. They just don't care. They just want their pound of flesh. And it's like, okay, so you're just a bunch of warmongering pieces of shit. And your evangelical friends and your Puritan friends here in the U.S., we're just going to, eventually we're just going to put them in camps and then ship them back over to you. Like, we don't care. Don Bacon. You know, that fucking stupid fucking, I think is he a House rep or a senator? I don't fucking know.
He's a congressman, unfortunately.
Yeah, I made the joke one time. I'm like, maybe we should turn Nebraska into an internment camp for evangelicals. just build out the entire state as a re-education facility.
Who do you think is worse, Don Bacon or Randy Fine?
I'm gonna have to go
Bacon.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Don Bacon on this one.
Yeah,
Randy's pretty bad, but Don is the worst of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, in reference to that thing about turning Nebraska into an internment camp, that just reminded me of something funny. Back when I first went to boot camp back in 1977, one of the guys that I knew in that boot camp company and went to some of the same locations later on as we were going through the schooling. He was from Nebraska, and our company commander in boot camp picked him to be the division yeoman, in no small part because when you had to fill out the little form saying why you joined the Navy and so on and so forth, what this guy wrote down on his information sheet, the company commander, was to get the hell out of Nebraska.
Yeah, I think Nebraska. I think Nebraska is a good option. You know, I honestly speaking, I have never done like a survey of Nebraska's like natural resources and a few other things. So I'll have to do that. But if it basically has fucking nothing and it's basically just a desolate fucking wasteland, at that point in time, it's like, okay, yeah, we can definitely use this as an internment camp. You know, just build a nice, just nice wall around the entire border of it. You know, like we'll build up really nice tall walls alongside the interstates. Yep. You know, all of a sudden you're just seeing Escape from New York level bullshit inside the fucking or shit. We turn it into CCOT. We just turn it into. Oh my God, that would be excellent. Just turn Nebraska into CCOT. Oh,
I got a better idea. Turn it into a prison farm.
No, that's my point. Is turn it into CCOT, because CCOT. What a lot of people don't know about CCOT is that the guys that have lesser charges against them as part of the gangs, they have the opportunity to work. And they can work off their sentence. Well, there's a bunch of work facilities attached to CCOT that they use, And so, it's like, yeah, we just turn Nebraska into a seacot and just have nice tall walls, just have a bunch of industrial stuff and whatnot that we put inside of it. And it's like, okay, yeah, you can work off your sentence, your re-education process, just every evangelical in the country. Mike Pence, one of the first ones going in.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell them get out there and get to plowing, boys. That wheat ain't gonna grow itself.
I got a question. How bad does it have to get for a fucking Foxu to start saying close the borders?
Oh God, yeah. Well, see, that's the thing is that, like, at the end of the day, people are starting to wake up to the fact that there is a lot of fucking problems in general, and the people who don't want to acknowledge those problems are going to slowly get removed from power. There's a reason why every time one of these protests starts up, the feds just swarm them. It's like, no, the gloves have come off. We're just going to start arresting you people. We don't give a shit. And the majority of the people that are getting picked up are either illegals or they've got criminal backgrounds to begin with. Like, I can't tell you how many fucking people they picked up from from the LA riots that had pre-existing charges for other crimes that they've committed in riots. And it's like, holy shit, like, y'all people are just professional rioters. And as we cut off their money sources and shit, like, the whole LA riots, remember, the LA riots were not started because of ICE raids. They were started because they were going after money laundering operations that were owned and operated by the cartels in LA. And the riots started as part of that whole situation, and then we put it down. And again, these they'll never learn until finally they get shot. But I'm not going to advocate for just straight up shooting people because that they are American citizens at the end of the day. But if they need to get put into a re-education camp, fuck it.
Yeah. Well, guys, I have been summoned to the dinner table, so I'll have to go ahead and bow out there.
Fair enough. Take care.
Yeah, I think that's a decent place to leave it.
Yeah. So long, everyone. See you next week.
Ciao.